Mortal Kombat 2021. It's not as good as the first one. It's better than Annihilation. You already know what you're getting before you even watch the film. Kano hard carries the movie. I think the costumes and the music are also up there. Everything else is kind of meh. So Kano, basically every scene he's in, every sentence he has, every line he has is perfect. He is by far the best part of the film. You should watch it just for him. He has some great lines. Unfortunately, everybody else is kind of generic, kind of flat, kind of wooden. And the main character, the biggest problem, the main character is basically what happens when you like custom class create a character and you leave all the sliders in the middle because you don't want them to look too weird or be too weird. So you put every option right in the middle all the way down and you end up with just generic Mr. Generic Man. He's not that interesting. The reason that he's fighting, everything related to him is just kind of meh, kind of generic. Liu Kang was also a standout for me. Something about the actor and the way that he moved, I just felt had a lot of gravitas, and I liked watching him on screen, oddly. But even his lines, like his vocal lines that he would say, were just kind of okay. Everybody else was there, but Kano really stole all the scenes. I think by far he's the best part of the movie. The characters say what you want them to say. They do have a lot of fan service moments. They say what they need to say at certain points in the movie. And there's a certain part where a character does a certain move over and over again. And the character that he's hitting with that move basically is like, dude, do you know any other moves? So that was kind of fan servicey and kind of fun. There's a lot of callbacks like that, which are kind of fun to watch. The fight scenes, some of them are really good. The opening and the ending fight scene, I think, is really good. And the ones in the middle are kind of hit and miss. Some of them are really quick. Some of them are kind of long and they get enough time, but they're not shot that well. So it's very hectic and hard to get your balance on where things are. Some of them, there's a part where a character gets knocked out and then they wake up later again. And the pacing of the fights before then, I was so lost as to how much time had passed. Were they still fighting? Did everybody else leave and he's waking up after the fact? Like what just happened here? Like the pacing and the timing of the shots and the timing of the story all together when they were cutting between them kind of left me confused near the middle part. I would have preferred, obviously, longer takes with the actors doing more of their own stunts, I guess. But you know, you can't always get that. The costumes I thought were tremendous. So I don't want to spoil anything. So I'm actually gonna leave that out. Sorry. The costumes I think are tremendous. I think what starts off with the first, I guess, 20 minutes of the film, great set design, great costumes for all the characters, great cinematography, great choreography for those fights. Those characters get even more badass suits further on in the film, and the way that they'll change, you know, like as pieces of it get damaged and parts of the costume start falling off. I really like that. I thought that was cool. They'll sort of, you know, round two fight and the costume will look a little different, which I kind of appreciated. In a few circumstances, they do that. So I thought that was really cool. But they're just, I don't want to say realistic, but they look realistic. They're not overly bright. They're not overly cartoony. They're kind of this is weird. They're kind of what I would envision that type of suit to more or less look like in real life. They're not just straight black like Zack Snyder. They have color to them. They have the motifs of the character. But I thought they were really well done. All of the different costumes that were on there. Except for, again, our generic main character. He's a new character, so it's hard to place him. He doesn't have a backstory that you might know, even just through osmosis of people talking about it in the past, even if you didn't play the games yourself. His costume was like, oh, okay. His fighting style, the weapons that he used, it was all like, okay, I guess, okay, we're doing this now, sure. And then when he first Super Saiyans and powers up, it seems like he has a certain ability to absorb stuff, and then he just doesn't anymore for the later fights. I thought that was going to be part of his power, was to basically like absorb, like vibranium, right? I thought like, okay, is that his thing? Like he can kind of absorb impact and then soak it, like is because he gets beat up and he loses like in his normal life. So is that like where he's getting his strength? And then they kind of don't do anything with that. But the costumes I thought were overall pretty mostly good. The music I really enjoyed. For the most part, this is weird to say. For the most part, it's okay. It's generic, actiony, high-paced, high-tempo music. But at certain parts, and it picks up near the end, they have some flourishes and some stingers from the previous games or from the film. You can hear like one or two measures of a certain riff. And every time it happened, I was like, ooh, that's the thing, that's the thing. And that just really like took me back. You can hear like a brief snippet of the Mortal Kombat theme from the film. And it was like, oh yes. So those I thought just really hit for me. Everything else was like, it was okay. But those few moments that the music really like harkened back or played a character's theme or played the movie theme or something, I really loved. It's okay. It's better than Annihilation. It's not as good as the first film. It would probably be like a 3.5, 4 out of 5, like a 7 out of 10. You know what kind of movie it is before you watch it. The storyline is okay. It gets you from point A to point B. Some of the rules regarding how they fight are a little weird. It kind of takes the idea of the first film, the boat part of the first film, where Scorpion and Sub-Zero come out before the tournament starts. It kind of takes that idea to the max. So they're like, hey, we'll just kill everybody before we even have a tournament, which is okay. We'll run with this. And it's just kind of introducing people and letting them fight, which is, more or less what you'd expect it to do. The ending, I kind of appreciated. I thought that was kind of cool. The very ending, like the tee up for the next film, I was like, oh, okay, that could be kind of cool. And I hope they do another one. They kind of set up some things which could be cool. It's okay. So I would definitely be down to have another sort of fun romp through the universe they've established and through the characters they've established. But as long as there's another Kano type character, without him, maybe you get more time to flesh out the characters we know, give them a little more personality, give them a little more things to do. They kind of add a lot. It's the first film in the new, the cinematic universe. So they kind of add a lot of characters, don't really give all of them enough time to shine, enough backstory. A lot of them are just there. A lot of them die really quick, to be fair. But there's a few standout ones there. Yeah. So overall, I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. Yeah. Those are my thoughts briefly on Mortal Kombat 2021. Peace.